And it says that we are live. So hello, everyone, and welcome to Faces of First Year. We are so glad that you are joining us this Friday afternoon, and we are excited to talk to you about Sandscript magazine. Now, if you have not joined one of our Faces of First Year broadcasts before, the whole purpose of these live vodcasts is to introduce you to the Pima Community College resources that matter to you as a student, especially if it is your first year here at the college. So you can see in our video library, either on this side or this side of the screen, not quite sure. But take a look at our video library to see past editions of the other Pima College resources that we have featured. And if you like what you're seeing, please make sure to give us that thumb up and even subscribe to see future events. So again, today we are going to be talking about Sandscript magazine, and I have some fantastic subject matter experts here who are excited to tell you more about this resource. So we're going to get started with some introductions. Again, for those who I have not yet met, I am Renee Forsyth. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I lead the first year experience program at Pima. I'm going to kick it over to Kayla.
Hi everyone, I'm Kayla Butler. I'm a peer mentor here at Pima and also a sophomore.
Hi everyone, I'm Frankie Rollins. I am a English faculty teaching honors creative writing, and I'm the faculty advisor for Sandscript magazine, which is our topic today.
Hi everyone, I am Raiden Lopez. I am a sophomore and I am the editor-in-chief of the Sandscript magazine.
Thank you everyone for those introductions. And I see that we have a lot of great folks who are joining us live through YouTube and watching us. Thank you for joining. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask those in the comment section and we will get those addressed throughout today's interview. So we like to get things started with kind of a fun question, which is where we kind of also give these SMEs an opportunity to not only introduce themselves, but also talk about who is part of their resource. And so, Frankie, you were telling me that you have a fantastic staff who helped contribute to the magazine. Tell us more about who they are and what they do.
Well, every year, the class Writing 162 is the staff that creates Sandscript. And this year we have Lee Barker, Carol Korhornen, Isaac Zierenberg, Shane Vino, and of course, Raiden Lopez, our editor-in-chief. And we are currently deciding the other editorial roles. But these are the people who are going to be making this magic happen in spring 2022.
Fantastic. Thank you. Kayla, why don't we learn some more about them, about this resource? Go ahead and take it away.
I have a kind of a fun question. If your resource was a circus act, what would it be and why?
I love the circus act question. Sandscript magazine is all student artwork and writing, and we, Raiden and I and the other staff members, our job is to really uplift and spread their work out into the world. So I would say if we were a circus act, we are the rope or the platform that holds up the acrobats. We're the horse, we're the elephant's back, we're the big ball that the acrobats ride on, and that they can trust us to honor their work and revere their creativity and present them to the Pima larger community.
I love that. That sounds like so much fun.
It does.
Raiden, I have a question for you, being that you're a student and also on the staff for this. What do you wish that you had known about your first year at college regarding this resource?
Well, honestly, I wish that I had known about it. My very first year, I did not know about Sandscript. I didn't know it existed. I didn't know until a few semesters in when I had Frankie as my creative writing teacher. Obviously, I'm a writer myself and love editing. So she thought that I would be a perfect fit for this. And she's like, hey, are you interested? I'm like, interested in what? What is this? And she gave me more information and I fell in love with it, honestly. So I wish I had known about it. I probably would have gone on the staff before then.
Right. And Raiden performed 2 roles last year. She was both the editor-in-chief and the managing editor. She has impeccable, precise organizational skills, which is something we need and not necessarily my strong suit.
I think that's a really neat thing about the magazine that I was learning while we were getting ready for this, is that Sandscript is student run and operated, correct?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. Yes. Do you have to be in a literature course, or does it have to be writing as your major in order to contribute?
No, absolutely not. It's open to if you are a student enrolled in Pima this spring and you write something beautiful for the world, you can submit that. If you're taking a class and you've written an incredible essay that you're proud of, you can submit that, or artwork, or if you've done something in a class, you can submit it. I mean, there is a vetting process. We have a voting system, and each person on the staff has their own vote, and we're doing work right now to set up criteria and be aware of our own biases so we can give fair judgments to all the work that comes. So it's not just an easy in, which actually makes it more meaningful when you do get to be in the magazine.
Awesome. Are there some certain deadlines that students should know about? So if a first year student was wanting to know when to begin participating with Sandscript, what would you tell them, or what are some deadlines to keep in mind?
Raiden, do you want to do these?
Sure. So you can go ahead and participate during the spring of every year to actually be a part of the staff to submit. Currently, we have a deadline of March 1st to go ahead and accept those work into this current edition. And it opens up again in October 1st. So the next year, so 2023, can go ahead and open up again in spring.
So there's 2 editions each academic year, once in the fall and once in the spring.
No, only one.
Oh, only one. Okay. But submissions have deadlines.
Yes.
Yes. So October 1st would be when we start accepting all the work. And then March 1st is the deadline. So our edition ends in May, and that's when we unveil it.
Understood.
And the fall submissions are open to people who were students in the summer or the fall, and the spring submission is to students who are currently enrolled.
So they have to be a currently enrolled Pima student, but they do not have to necessarily be enrolled in an art or a writing class, correct?
Yes, exactly.
Got it. Thank you.
Coming from a student who I actually had not heard of this until fairly recently, for those students who might be interested in this, where can they find your resource? Like on campus, online, on any social media accounts? How can they find and get in contact with all of you?
Well, right now, we are meeting at West Campus. You can also get any type of information on Pima Post. We have our past edition there. You can take a look at it. It also has our first year winner as the main ad. It's an owl. It's called the Quiet Observer. It's beautiful. And it can open up to our past edition. We also have an Instagram that you can take a look at, and we will be posting our deadlines, giving any type of warnings that it's coming up close to our unveiling event, everything. You can take a look there as well. If you want to, it's at PCC Sandscript, or you can also reach out to us with our submissions. It gives you the link there. It's sandscript@pima.edu.
And just to give a little history too, I realized we forgot to mention the fact that this has been going for almost 30 years. There has been a Pima Sandscript Art and Literary magazine since for almost 30 years. I'm pretty sure it's 30 years. We have a pile of all the previous editions, and they were all print until 2020. In 2020, we had to pivot and create the first digital version ever. And last year we did the same thing again. We're hoping this year that we can do both a print edition and a digital version. People were very disappointed that they were only in a digital version, but the interesting thing is there were only 1,200 physical copies of the the previous few years, and we've already had 7,000 views on the 2020 magazine. So actually being digital means that their work is spread even more widely. And we do have an office, a Sandscript office, J107 in the J building, which is where we meet in the J building. So there is a physical place where we are, but because the staff, everybody's got classes and stuff, it isn't staffed all the time.
Makes sense. Now, isn't there also an upcoming event that you wanted to share about related to this?
Oh, right. We have an unveiling. And last year, tell us a little bit about our event last year, our unveiling event, Raiden, if you would.
Yeah, so our last year event was on Zoom. We had to pretty much figure out the platform and everything towards the last minute, and we had to make changes. And yeah, it was a little hectic, but I think it ended up pretty good. And there was a lot of people in it watching. So I think digital does help when a lot of people don't want to go to a physical place, especially right now with the pandemic. So I thought both would be pretty cool to live stream it as well.
Yes, right. And we had a PowerPoint at the same time with the visual art, and then each person who's published gets a minute, and they can either talk, thank people, or they can read a few lines or read a page or talk about the artwork that they made. So it's a moment for them to really get to celebrate their publication. And we're hoping we've already reserved the Proscenium Theater. That's where in the previous years the event would be held, so that all the family could come, and your friends could come. And so we're hoping to be able to do that and live stream it, as Raiden mentioned, this year.
I love it. So should they just be paying attention to the Instagram pages for future updates on how that develops?
Great idea. Yes.
Yeah. We last year we liked to do a countdown to it. So we definitely did do it each day.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
Fun. I love that. All right. I'm taking a look in our YouTube chat to see, I don't see any live questions currently from our audience, but again, if you have any questions for Frankie or Raiden regarding Sandscript magazine, now is your time to ask them. But what I'm going to do is also ask Raiden, especially from the student perspective and the editor's perspective, is that infamous why question. I know I was always the student in kindergarten and early all of school that wanted to know the why behind things. And so why does Sandscript matter to first year students, and why should they tell those they know and love and care about, family and friends, about this resource?
I think it's important because it's really a student run, operated, all of students' works. It's kind of like a stepping stone to a lot of people. It was their first publication. They've moved on to become writers or editors in other universities or made it their entire career. And this is where they got their start. I feel like we are like caretakers of their work, and we just kind of push them into what they want to do for the rest of their life, or even just have something that they're proud of that they can go back to, that we're a part of the legacy of Sandscript, honestly. And I think that's amazing.
Yeah, you become a part of Pima forever in that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Frankie, anything that you want to add?
Well, I did want to add that for many years in a row before the pandemic, Sandscript won the award for the best literary magazine in the Community College Humanities Association for multiple years. And in fact, we do have our last two editions in there, but they've sort of abandoned their contest, which we understand. People are probably, we understand. But just to say, there are a lot of college literary magazines that are just hastily thrown together things, but this is not that. It's a really beautiful, professional, and held in wide regard magazine, and really national award-winning magazine. So come be a part of it.
Awesome. Looks like I did get a question that came in on my end asking about if students wanted to participate but not necessarily submit artwork or something of literature. So for instance, if they wanted to be the editor, let's say they have the organizational skills, or they just want to be part of the staff and help out with behind the scenes, is that an option? What does it take to become staff?
It takes you signing up for Writing 162 Literary Magazine Production, which is only run in the spring. And that's how, then once you get into that class, we define the editorial roles. People choose which one suits their best skills. And then we're off and running, looking at submissions and making the magazine. So looking for that to enroll in the spring is how you get in.
Wonderful. All right. Well, I want to thank both Frankie and Raiden for your time today. In the chat, I went ahead and added the contact information of how to follow up with Sandscript Magazine, either through their Instagram page, which is again at PCC Sandscript, or by emailing them at sandscript@pima.edu, or by going to their webpage, which again is www.pimapost.com/Sandscript. If you're watching this in replay, if you have a question, still feel free to drop it down in the comments box so that we can make sure to direct it to Frankie or Raiden to help answer it. But otherwise, thank you also to our viewers for joining us today. Join us again next month on March 4th, same time, 1:30 p.m. And we are going to be interviewing Pima Post, which you heard mentioned a little bit today. That is the college's newspaper. And so we're going to be learning about that resource as well. So I wish everyone a fantastic Friday, a wonderful rest of the spring semester, and I look forward to seeing you soon at another first year experience event. Keep striving.
Thanks, Renee and Kayla. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, so we have ended the live stream.